Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Atlanta Falcons and the Indianapolis Colts. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The former Indiana Hoosier here, Tevin Coleman. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
The Colts are going to get him. Down he goes. Deion Jones. Coming hard from that linebacker spot. He drops him for a loss of 11. So the sack pushes him back, and now 3rd and long for Ryan and the Falcons. Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
3rd and long. It's Ryan. And this is going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Good starting field position for the Colts as they have it 1st and 10. Nyheim Hines, his first carry. And he's going to be stopped here on this first play as he gets it to the line of scrimmage and no more. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. This is Hines. Only a yard on the pickup there, so it leaves them needing a conversion here on 3rd and a tough 9.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the play, as we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his head as this game progresses.
Throwing on 3rd down, Luck. Flushed out right. And that one drops incomplete as he got popped as he was throwing it.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Ito Smith, his first carry. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Up from his linebacker spot, Deion Jones making the play.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and failing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
The stop for no gain brings up 2nd and 10 from the 20. On 2nd down, here's Ryan. They'll set up the screen for Freeman. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a 1st down.
They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
39.
Throwing now, Ryan on 1st down. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away, incomplete. Now that'll bring up 2nd down. And this pass defense, they were sensational in the win last week, and they're looking good here so far in this 1st quarter.
You know, we often talk about how offenses get locked in, and that runs over multiple games where they're really, in that zone. Defenses can be the exact same way, and I think we're seeing an example of it here.
On 2nd down, here's Smith. And nowhere for him to go again. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. Jonathan Hankins in on the stop.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
On 3rd down, Ryan looking deep for Julio. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, 1st quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing. Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25. And out will come the offense as they take over. Here comes the Colts offense now as they make their way onto the field. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Here's Luck now on 2nd down. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
12. Monday.
From the gun, here's Luck. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Tech McKinley in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year. Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. This is taken at the 23. An excellent return that time, 26 yards. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. Atlanta now coming out on the field. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Deion Jones in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Out of the gun, it's Ryan. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And they went for a big play through the air on 2nd down, couldn't connect. Now it's 3rd. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on 1st down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Ryan. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Here's Matt Bosher now as he's on to punt for Atlanta. And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. Oh, good footwork on the spin. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Luck and the Colts come up now 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. They'll run with the former Ole Miss Rebel, Jordan Wilkins. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Right off the bat, it's a 1st down to start the drive, 12 yards.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
5, 6, 7, 4. 12. Go ahead.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. On 2nd down, here's Lott. Coleman has it here right side. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Couple of 1st downs to kick off the drive. Here's 1st and 10 up at the 46.
Go ahead. Got him.
Now we've got whistles and a flag. Looked like one of the Colts linemen might have jumped. A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15.
Go ahead.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he takes it across midfield to the 45. They get the penalty yardage back plus a yard, 6-yard gain, and it's 2nd and 9.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Now a play fake, and it's Lott. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. It's his first catch, and it'll be good for 15 and a 1st down.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size, can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a 1st down.
A gain of 6 there on 1st.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
They run with Wilkins, and he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
On the right side, it's Hilton with a catch. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up, keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. And they will touch him down, but not before he gets the first. They only needed a few inches, and they didn't get much more than that, but by about the width of a shoelace, they convert on 4th down. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
Monday. 5, 6, 22.
This is Wilkins. And they'll get him down right around the 16. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Sometimes play calls boil down to philosophy. You know you're facing one of the top 10 units against the run in the NFL. So do you decide to keep smashing against them, or do you decide to throw the ball here?
Monday. Hurry.
They'll run it here with Wilkins. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll lead here to a 3rd down. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football. Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
Now the penalty, a big assist to this offense. Now it's 3rd and 3. And they'll lose yardage here. They go backwards to the 13-yard line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
And his kick is indeed good. And the Colts hit the scoreboard first. It's 3-0. So they get the field goal, but that was a 14-play drive to get 3.
It's not like you're going negative on me.
I was.
Sounds like you're thinking the 3's just not that good.
And people say that we're negative sometimes. So.
Well, here's the deal. Getting the 3 is good. Obviously, you would think on a 14-play drive you're going to get 6 out of it. But that type of a drive can pay dividends later on because you might wear the defense down.
Atlanta now coming out on the field. So far, they've had 3 drives, 3 punts. Not good.
Not good indeed, because you've got to have something to show for being out on the field. Now, sometimes, if you have a game where neither side has scored, 3 punts isn't a bad thing. But when you're trying to set the pace, get up on top in a game, you've got to show better offense and find a way to put some points on the board.
That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. On 2nd down, Ryan. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Matthias Farley. And they will take over at the 29-yard line. He's at it again, Charles. He had the pick 6 last week. Not a pick 6 here, but an interception.
Hey, it's another Oski, because that's the word we use when we intercept the pass. Oski tells your team to rally around and block for you. Now, that worked really well last week because he made it all the way to the end zone. This week, he got the Oski, maybe not a touchdown, but, boy, he's playing really well.
So 1:56 to play in this first half. We'll come back to Indianapolis right after this. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Jordan Wilkins, his first touchdown on the year. And the Colts are able to grow their lead. The try here for the extra point. Extra point right down the middle. And the lead grows to 10-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That's fielded in the end zone. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. And his throw's going to be incomplete. The free safety, Malik Hooker, there in coverage.
Well, he leads the NFL in interceptions and nearly added to that total.
Got his hand on it, couldn't quite corral it. It's been a Pro Bowl-type season for him, and the term ball hawk really comes into play, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like that one a lot because teams want to avoid that type of a player, but sometimes you just can't. He just knows where the ball is.
Ryan steps away to his left. Now he'll throw deep left side. And both guys were there, but it falls incomplete. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. On 3rd down, Ryan. He's going to loft one deep left side here. So they took a shot there on 3rd down, couldn't get it. Now it's 4th. I don't know, he had to be pretty quick with his fingers to start and stop after the ball hit the ground. I'm giving him some credit.
Well, I'm thinking about the mental focus, you know?
Yeah.
The mental focus.
Yeah, that's true.
Got to stay with it.
That's true. Taking it about the 16. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And possession will switch hands. 1st and 10. The Colts now, their offense works their way back onto the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
To throw on 2nd down is Locke. The throw to the left side, caught by Coleman. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A good pickup there of 20 yards. On 1st down, Locke. Caught left side by Hilton. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. And now before this 1st down play, we're going to get a timeout here. As the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the 1st half. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. On the carry, it's Wilkins. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
That's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
The Colts on third down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 11.
12.
Here's Locke. Ebron caught left side. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down. So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. Now a timeout coming here defensively. As on 4th down, may as well make him punt it. So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. He hit his first. Now this one from 48 yards away. And his kick is absolutely perfect. And that'll push the lead up to 13-0. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
Very short kick. This will be taken by one of the up men. So we've reached the intermission in what right now is a 13-point game. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. Second half ready to get underway. The Colts with a lead, and they will receive the football. Out come the Colts. They'll have it first here to start quarter number 3. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
12. 11. Tempo.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And they're going to face a 3rd down.
Tempo. Right over there. Yeah. Gun.
A shotgun snap for Locke. Pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the sack. Vic Beasley in there for the sack, and he's closing in on that all-time record. That's number 19 on the year. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And he fields it cleanly. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. So we get set to start this third quarter. Here's the Falcons offense now. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline, because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
He completes it to Julio Jones. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. That one goes for 24 yards. Despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you, because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. Now it's Ryan being chased out left. Now he's going to let it go deep. A fight for the football, and it's intercepted. Quincy Wilson with the INT. And a very good return as he'll take it all the way up to the 40-yard line. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13.
Hurry!
Play action. It's locked. But he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's 3rd down.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just 1 target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target of the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him, though. Find him. Find him.
Go ahead. Color. 12.
3rd and long. It's locked. Going up top. Now a clash of bodies here, and it's intercepted. Isaiah Oliver with the INT.
Well, I tell you, Brandon, this ball's intercepted, but it is 3rd down. So the silver lining is that since this is so far down the field and there wasn't a big run back associated with it, really this kind of works like a punt. It's not an altogether bad result.
Ryan will bring the Falcons up now 1st and 10 at their own 27. And the drive starts with a handoff to Coleman. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. 2nd down.
And while there is no gain on that run, we do know coaches whose identity is rooted in taking it almost to the limit and then changing things up on you down the stretch. I think we're getting really close to that point in time, though, where the identity map to go out the window, and they've got to go a little bit faster in order to try and win the game.
Now Ryan on 2nd down. Dancing to his left. Throwing left side, it's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A very solid gain of 27. Now from Colts territory, here's a 1st and 10 at the 46.
Tuesday. 21.
From the gun, it's Ryan. And they're going to get him. He's taken down for a sack back at the 47-yard line. And that sack certainly just strengthening his candidacy for Defensive Player of the Year. You think he's got that one in the bag yet?
I'm not willing to vote quite yet just because I won't wait until the season's over, but he is really tracking towards it. Just look at all the great plays we've seen from him throughout the season. Strength plays that you referenced there, as well as agility plays. They just have not found a way to block him consistently.
And he's unable to grab it. Thought he might have had position, couldn't hold on. 3rd down. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary, it really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to him.
That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man-on-man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Now this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. And, Charles, you'd have to think this is where you want to start taking some time off the clock.
Oh, definitely, because you got the lead, right? You take a good look up there and you say, okay, what do we need to do here? Well, you're not in full-out protect mode. You want to make sure you run it, throw it safe, take some time off, and eat it up.
Not taking your advice, they'll throw first play. Complete to Hilton. And he is out of bounds right around the 34. First down yardage on the first play of the drive, 14 yards. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10.
On.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. Give him 4 on the ground there. They're now left with 3rd and 6.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
The Colts on 3rd down. Just 1 conversion in 8 tries. Not good. This will be 3rd and 6.
Go ahead. 12.
Out of the gun. Luck. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Putting pressure on the guy throwing the football is always good, but when you can couple that with contact on him that leads to an incompletion, as we just saw there, that's winning football.
Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez. He's been terrific so far. Atlanta now coming out on the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
On first down, Ryan. Flush to his right. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. 5 yards on the pickup, and it'll be a 2nd down.
And the big guy catches the ball out of the backfield, and oftentimes it's quite a surprise to the guys playing defense, because not ordinarily thought as a pass catcher, it often works when they decide to dial it up.
Here's Coleman. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. They give him about 4 on the play, but he's marked short, so it'll be 3rd and about the length of the football. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Oh, and I think he went backward. He did. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And the Colts are going to get the football in outstanding field position. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. And Duke Riley will get credit for the tackle.
An opportunity to get a drive started here at the end of the 3rd quarter. What you're trying to do is break the game down a little bit. Don't let your guys see too deep into the game, into the future, and say, oh, we got to get here. No, right here, right in front of them, melt the clock down, get to the 4th quarter, try and keep going.
And try to keep that lead.
Exactly.
Back now here on EA Sports. It's the Colts. They've got control of the football. They also have the lead as we start the 4th. They'll fake the handoff. Now Luck sliding out of the pocket. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. All that gets him is just a yard, and now it's 3rd down.
Nice job there defensively. A great time to dial up a blitz.
And give him credit under center instead of throwing it away. Actually a pretty good job of getting past the line of scrimmage, not losing yardage. On 3rd down, it's Wilkins, and they'll get him down right about the 20. Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down.
But forget knowing where the first down line was. This defense created their own line of scrimmage. They won every battle up front, and a lot of times that is one-on-one. And if you win your one-on-ones enough times, your defense is going to be pretty good. They had more people to the football and snuffed out the play.
So now here comes the field goal team for the 3rd time today. Right hash, 37-yard attempt. And his kick is good. And that's going to make this a 16-0 ball game. So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but it's still ate up time, got points, so while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. Defensively, you said coming in earlier in the broadcast, the magic number was 20 points for you. That's what you thought they would have to hold this offense to, or less than that. And, wow, they've done that in a big way, haven't they?
Not only have they done it, they put themselves in a great position to win this one because holding them down was paramount. If they could get it done, well, guess what? We see the end result. Right now, they have their eye on victory.
And leading here in the 4th. Here's Ryan. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, 2nd down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Again on 2nd and 10, it's Ryan. And he'll be brought down by the Colts.
He's the NFL sack leader coming into the game, and now that's 2 more that he's added to his total.
He wants some separation from spot 1 and 2 in that sack category. So the sack pushes him back, and now 3rd and long for Ryan and the Falcons.
54, south, 21. Left.
From the shotgun, Ryan looking downfield for Jones. And that's caught inside the 30. A big play there, Ryan to Jones. And even 60 yards. And in a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified, big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
Throwing now, Ryan on 1st down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you go make a play on the football.
2nd and 10, it's Ryan again. Rolling to his left. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up 3rd.
I'm not even sure I know who this guy is out there playing right now. This is very unlike him, one of the most accurate guys in the league. Totally off his game right now.
I don't know. I was going to ask you what you pin it on, but defensively, they've been pretty solid.
But sometimes, you know, those defense...
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Deion Jones in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year. The Falcons will call on Matt Bryant for the field goal try. This will be spotted at the 37, so it's a 47-yard attempt. And Bryant's kick is good. And they'll at least get on the board here, still trailing, but 16-3 now. So as it turns out, that sack doesn't wind up costing them, Charles. They at least get points, get 3 of them.
Yeah, that's where your kicker can really come to your rescue because, you know, after the sack, there was a little consternation there. Are we out of field goal range? Are we going to be able to get 3? In this case, he stepped right up and gave them exactly what they needed.
Fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
I know there'll be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and end up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up to try to keep that momentum going.
11. 12. 12.
Now they try the right side here. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. He'll wind up getting 11 on that one. And now a timeout defensively by the Falcons. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. The Colts on third down, not getting the job done at all. A very poor 1 for 10. This time it's 3rd and 3.
11 Z. Gun. Monday.
Now it's locked. He's going to launch this thing way down. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked off with great anticipation. 2-score game here in the fourth, and that pick, it kind of keeps the door ajar, doesn't it?
It does, and you wonder about their strategy because with a 2-score lead, you would think maybe you're just sitting on it and trying to drain some clock. It's almost like they felt like, hey, we've got a good cushion. We can keep pressing it. It ended up costing them.
After the interception, here's Ryan. And he's taken down. Back at his own 7.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway.
21. 12.
On second down, here's Ryan. And now he's going to go down in the end zone. Down goes Matt Ryan, and that's a safety. Well, there is still time to recover from this. It remains a 2-score game even with the 2 points there.